I kind of know a secret that no, you know, that's what kind of feels like, that you're part of a club and you know the secret and you're understanding it. But it's how you're talking about yourself is actually the secret.
So we've got Eleanor Clarke, and Eleanor, you're based in Dublin. First, why don't you start off by telling us who you are, what you do, who you do it for?
Okay, so I said I'm based in Ireland, in Dublin, Ireland. So I would classify myself as a residential spatial designer, or some people say space planner. I would really say I'm the reconfiguration expert. So I would reconfigure existing spaces, mainly for secondhand dwellings, people who buy doer-uppers, families who, young couple who have children and their family are growing and the house no longer suits them. So I really design houses to make better use of their space for people that the houses aren't simply working for them. I took a job in this kitchen shop. Then we got married, and then I had a baby. Then I got pregnant, had a baby. Got pregnant, had a baby. So what happens then is you get trapped.
Right.
As a mother, I got trapped. I had 3 babies under 3.
Right.
And I never took a maternity leave because they didn't pay. And I worked, and so I ended up staying there for 9 years. But it's 9 years to like now. But 2 years ago, I made my escape route, which was my design practice.
Right.
But the fear was, I still need to each month, I need to have my share of the bills. I need to have my bills. I don't have the comfort of my husband's able to pay the bills and I'm able to do this Mickey Mouse job on the side. So I had the fear of, so that's what I'm saying. So my problem was I felt trapped.
Right.
And I hated my job by the end of it. And I knew that I saw this niche, and I knew that nobody was talking about it, because you Googled this kind of stuff and nothing was happening. It was either an interior designer or an architect. You were either into fabrics and finishes or you were building houses. Nobody was talking about reconfiguring houses. Nobody was. And making best use of space and all this. It was maybe part of an architect, but it wasn't solely talking about it. And so that's when I was like, I have to make this a business. Right. And so I went from there to just making my escape route, really, and that's what I did. And now obviously at the end of this month, because of working on the course, as I said, it's because of I have control of my career. Whereas before I felt so trapped. I didn't have control. My boss controlled what hours I worked. It controlled what money I got each month. And now I know that if I work, I will earn more. If I don't work, I won't earn. Right. So I have full control of it. And now with your help, I know how to do it.
Right. Right.
And that's why I'm not scared. I'm not scared anymore. It's like the Home Alone. I'm not scared anymore because I'm not. Yeah. And that's what's changed, because whereas before I was so scared to leave my job. I was so scared because, as I say, I'm on the plank and nobody is helping me. Nobody's with me. But they're all wishing me luck. But they're not, they can't help me.
It must have been a big step to sign up for the program, because it's not cheap.
So no, it wasn't. Yeah, and what I said to Sue was, well, what I said to myself was, if I say no to this, I'm in the same place.
Right.
And what's going to change? Nothing. Whereas if I move and do my homework, I'll be in a different place than I am today.
Right.
And so, you know, so I spoke to Sue and she said, and I said, look, give me 24 hours. And she said, right. And I went down and I spoke to my husband, and my husband's like, look, if you think it's what you do, but if you think it's the best thing to do, then do it. And I was like, well, this is the reasons why I think, And it's because I don't know what to do. I'm sitting at my desk. I don't know what I'm doing. I don't know what to do. I don't know when to do it. And they're going to show me how. And that's what I want. And then you popped up in my inbox. And you were like, hi, Eleanor. Look, we've never had somebody from Ireland before. And I went, oh my God, he's talking to me on video. I was like, wow, like, you know, it came across like I was like, I just saw the ad on Facebook and clicked call me. And then Sue called me, and then you were now interested in me, you know, and that's what it felt like. You were interested in helping me. I know you were coaching me to get into your course, but it was a two-way system, you know. And when I saw the video, I was like to my husband, Alan, this guy is videoing me. I said, that's really smart. That was a really smart move. Like, you know, and I was like, but all of a sudden I felt comforted by that. Mm-hmm. You know, because you were human, I suppose, you know. You were just normal. You weren't just, well.
That's right. Yeah.
Yeah, and this is the thing about these ads. Sometimes I kind of go, are they real? Is this a real thing? Is it real? You know?
Yeah. That's right.
So that's the energy difference. That's because I think I know I have control of what I'm doing now. Yeah. Like I'm definitely not on the Sunshine Island. Yeah. But I'm on the train and I'm a few stops in. Right? I'm a few stops in and I picked up a few good jobs on the way. Yeah. And I know staying on this train, I'll get there. But I'm only starting my career. Yeah. Really. Like I don't have the 20 years experience. Like I'm only 38, I think. Yeah, I'm 38. So like I have 30 years. 30 years. If I'm lucky, you know, and for that, and like, not that I'm perfect, Polly, but I wanted to know, I didn't want to start on the wrong note.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you want to learn the stuff at 38 and not at 68,
yeah.
don't you?
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Because that's 30 years that you could have been benefiting from better projects.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. And also, I really waited 9 years for this. You know, 2, I've, you know, built my business, but I always knew I'd have my own business. And I always knew I wanted to get paid to design. I didn't want to do anything else. I just want to get paid to design, to change people's lives by how they live, by coming into their house and having such a sense of calm and relief that this works for them. And I really waited 9 years to do it. So I wanted to start off on the right path and not waste, you know, another 5 years getting it wrong, and like graft and work day and night. I'd rather work day and night knowing I'm doing it right.
Well, and getting
yeah.
Night, you must be well paid for it.
Yeah.
You know, because there'll be times when you do, but at least you're being well paid for it. Whereas I see a lot of people working day and night, and they know they're undercharging or being underpaid because they're scared to charge anymore, and they're not getting ahead. All they're doing is, you know, they're on a hamster wheel, but they're not getting the rewards for it.
Yeah.
Bugger that.
Yeah.
The thing I found about, I guess, architects and designers is you've all got the same sort of, doesn't matter where you are in the world, everyone seems to have the same sort of issues. So what were some of the issues you were having? I don't know. How long have you been on the program?
Since June, end of June, I think.
Right. So what was happening before June?
So really where I was, so I developed my business nearly 2 years ago, but I was working full time. And so I started to do a register the business, and I started to, you know, do the website. And you do what everybody does, build a website, and then you sit and wait. And you wait for people to ring. And of course they don't. And so I started doing, you know, Facebook posts, and I really, really thought that social media was the way forward. And I was part of, you know, interior design groups, but I quickly realized that I'm not an interior designer.
Right.
Now, I'm not an architect either. But what I quickly learned was, if you want to be a big gun, you need to be around them.
Right.
You know, if you want to be rich, hang around with rich people.
Right.
Because you'll be the sixth rich person, you know, so hang around with 5 rich people.
Yeah.
If you're going to hang around with 5 poor people, you're going to be the 6th poor person. So I quickly thought that, I said, I need to be around architects, because even though I don't do as much as they do, I do part of what they do.
Right.
And so on Facebook, one of your ads came up, and your lovely face came up on one of the ads, and I monitored it for like a couple of weeks, and then I watched one of your webinar, one of your talks, and I just said, like, with that thought in my mind, like, I need to be around bigger people. And so that's when I applied, and like, obviously COVID hit. Going back, I was working full time, and then COVID hit in March. I was sent home from my full-time job, put on COVID payment. I had to homeschool my three small kids. My husband went to work, and I was like, right, how am I going to use this opportunity?
Right.
I'm at home, I'm not working in my job, and all I have to worry about is my family and my design business. Whereas before, I had 3 things. Now I only had 2 things.
Right.
I was like, this is a holiday, you know. So that's what I did, and so from March, I got a few jobs. I was getting new builds, wanted me to reconfigure their spaces, their architectural plans, and I did that for the first couple of months. But I wanted it to grow, and that's when I found, I said, your course and your site, and that's when I just reached out then and pressed call me, or, you know, pursue to contact you, and that's when it all started.
So what were you struggling with? What were the pain points that you had?
My pain, it was not knowing what to do. I would wake up so my husband would go to work, I would homeschool the kids, he'd come in at 5. I'd come up to my desk at 5 o'clock, and I'd sit there going, okay, what do I do now? And I didn't know what to do. Wow. And I was like, if someone can just tell me what to do, I will do it. I am very good at doing my homework. Right. I'm very good at it.
You are.
And
you are. That's why I'm talking to you today, because I kept noticing that you were always doing stuff. Every time we said do something, you'd go away and do it. You'd send it in.
Do it. Yeah. And I was like,
this girl is going to, you know, she's going to do something anyway. Something's going to happen here.
Exactly. And that's what I said to Sue on the call. I said, Sue, I'm very good at homework. So if whatever this is, I'll do it. But it's after I do it, my fear was, what happens then? What if I'm at my desk going, well, I've done all those things they've told me, but now I'm back to at my desk. Right. And I'm questioning, what do I do?
Yeah.
But I didn't understand the course of how it was going to bring me to where I am now. But it was really that I just didn't know what to do.
So
how to do it.
So what did you do? What did you do? What were the significant things? Because you probably did a lot of things, but what were the significant things that you think moved the dial for you? Either within yourself, either within your own head, or in terms of outward strategies that you deployed.
Yeah, so obviously when you work through the course, you're creating all your offers and you work on your niche. But ultimately, what I really learned was I can design, which I knew, but I did know how to talk about it.
Right.
And it was another thing I kept saying to my husband, I need to learn a language. It's like a new language I need to learn. like an architectural language. Like I knew like for so long I would, you know, give me a piece of paper or a plan and I can design.
Right.
But I don't narrate as I talk, or I don't narrate as I design. I just do it because I see it.
Right.
So it taught me how to talk about it, why I do it, how I do it. And that ultimately, it gives you confidence in what you're doing. It adds value to your to what you're doing, and it educates the client. So first of all, I learned to speak, really. I learned how to talk about it.
Right.
Because you're talking about your niche. And even though I knew what my niche was, I didn't know how to explain it.
Right.
And then you're working towards their offers, and you're doing your homework. Like you're learning, you're doing the Ask the Expert, you're doing your project planning pack, and you're doing all that, and that's your focus. And then you get to the end and you kind of go, okay, that's the homework part. Now is the part that I dreaded. That I went, right, I'm back at my desk. What do I do?
That's it.
And so I went into the training, but I didn't skip a beat. It was the next day, right? My husband came home at 5. I came upstairs to my desk. Right, next. Don't stop. Keep moving. Keep taking action. And I went into the training vault and I saw there's 15, 16 different videos. And through a course of 2 days, I watched them all. Like I binge watched them. And then I said, right, which ones am I comfortable in doing? Right. Do your email signature. Right. Do your referral, your dirty 30. That's a must. Let's do that. Okay, who will I reach out? I didn't have 30 at the time. I think I had 5 or 6. Like, let's start. I just kept saying, start with who you know. Start with who you know and branch out. And then talk about it. Talk about what you do. Talk about it to them. And that's how it started.
Right, right. So how would you give us an example of how you would have described either your niche or what you did before, and then how you describe your niche and what you do now?
Well, before I would have said I reconfigure houses, and whereas now I'm able to say, you know, the different process, like the make in memory, I come up with a make in memory process, and you can talk about the value of that and how I do it. I don't know who I do it for, why I do it. You know, so when you get that little lead, you're cementing what you do all the time. Yeah, so it's more about confidence in how you speak, I think, right, as well, adds to it. And
can you give me an example of speaking to someone when you know what to say, or have you got any stories where before, you know, here's the type of thing that was happening, and then now here's the type of way people are reacting to me when I explain it the new way?
Yeah, so before I would have been very, this is what I do, this is how much it is. So I'd come out for free initially, and I would come out, we'd have a chat. Their design packages was very small, and I'd say, this is what it is. Whereas now I go, okay, this is my process. This is how we work. You know, let's have a chat first. And obviously it's all about pre-design advice, that you're not giving anything away. And then I'd say, so this is my process. This is how I work. The first step is needs and options review, and you explain why that is and the value of it, the whole doctor story and the foundation of the project. And then the next step is your design package, but that's broken up into different packages, so you have a choice of different levels. And they go, okay, yeah, that sounds great. And then within that, then I'm talking about how I do it, you know, the memory making method, you know, designing, explaining how your house would work from the front door through to the back door, how you'd use it now, today, and for the future, so that ultimately the design that I do for you is the best design option. And they're like, oh yeah, I totally get that. And then, you know, you're building momentum as you speak, whereas before it was very short. Right. It was just like, yeah, you're looking for a designer. Yeah, I do this. This is how much it is.
You want it or not.
So whereas now you're kind of, you know, you're just constantly talking about the motion of it. Right. Whereas very matter of fact beforehand.
Right. Classic. Because I think with a lot of designers, you know, when you're a technical expert and a designer is a technical expert, the problem technical experts have is they assume that everybody else knows what they're talking about. So when I say, yes, I can design this for you and it'll cost this much, there's an assumption that you know exactly what I'm going to do, how I'm going to do it, when I'm going to do it, why I'm going to do it. And you also understand the value of everything that's going to happen too.
Yeah.
And of course, they don't know any of it.
No.
No.
And that's what I was saying about I wasn't used to talking about it, because I didn't. Even when I was trying to sell myself, I didn't. You just presume people know, they fill in the gaps. You think they know it and they don't. And the more you simplify it, the more you come across as an expert, even though you're saying the basics.
Yes, to you, it's that's it.
Yeah.
And I think the fear is, it's almost like I don't want to teach you guys to suck eggs, but actually it's sucking eggs to you because you live it every single day. But to them, they might do a project once in their life.
Yeah.
And so
and that's the thing to remember. That's the thing that I didn't think of, that I'm hiding away behind closed doors, designing away, and this is their first time. But my mindset is that it's not their first time, and that they know the little things and they don't.
Correct. So what else has moved the dial for you? The ability to be able to talk to people in a way that obviously you're getting better rapport, and you're building more. I'd say it sounds like you're building better rapport and you're building more confidence, giving them more confidence, but you're also building more confidence in you by playing, instead of the role of the salesperson who here's what I've got, here's what it'll cost. You're now going in almost playing the role of the consultant, the advisor, the coach. Would that be?
Yeah, no, absolutely. There's two things that really developed out of this, and it's mostly in life. It's financial and it's emotion, and they're the two things that have emerged from this. So obviously, financially, I've had the confidence to raise my prices, not once but twice. Like to me, it's like it was the first time it was like 125%. Now it's 200%, and that's because my prices were so low.
Right.
Do you know what I mean? But I also know that they will continue to rise,
right,
because I know as I continue to flourish that they will rise. And a part of me didn't want to flourish too much because I knew I wasn't doing it right.
Right.
So, and this brings me back to where the beginning, before I joined here, I was like, I know I'm not doing it right, and I want to follow a system that I'm confident in. And I know that it's the right way to go. And until I do that, I was afraid to kind of step out, because a lot of people in the course have been in the business, a lot, 10, 20 years, and their strategy is different. Whereas I don't have the clientele. I didn't even know if I was getting the right projects. All I knew is, I wanted stability for my business initially. And I was like, how do I do that? There's a formula that I need to follow. And, you're looking at social media and you're going, how are they doing it? And what I loved about this course was you never mentioned social media. And I was like, this is brilliant, because it just goes to show that everything I was doing was wrong. And I was like, brilliant. Because now I know I was doing it wrong. That now I know the only way to do it is the other way, which is their way, which is hopefully going to be right.
Yeah, that's right.
And then obviously emotionally it comes with, a massive shift in mindset, because like that you become confident, your value, you can speak about what you do, and it all kind of the knock-on effect. It's mindset, it's how you talk, then it comes to financial. And what I loved about about the AMI is that, really it's down to you, it's down to me sitting in this room here on my own, but you have so much support in this computer on the other side of the world. Mm-hmm. And, and even though you know, my husband and my family are very supportive. They can't help me. They can't help me whatsoever. They're like, I felt like I was on the plank of a pirate ship, and they're going, yeah, there you go, pushing me out onto the plank, going, you be grand, yeah, there you go, off you go. Look, we'll wait on, we'll support you. But nobody was beside me.
Yeah.
You know, and that's how I felt. Whereas now, you know, you've 30, 40 people on the plank with you, but they're also going through the same thing. And they're all going, well, if you jump, I'll jump, and we'll jump together. And this is how we're going to jump, because we won't break our legs if we do it like this.
Yeah. Yeah.
And you kind of go, oh, that's a good way. And if somebody says, no, let's wear a parachute. Yeah, okay, that sounds even better idea. You know, and that's how I felt the AMI is. You know, and then the buddy group, I have a buddy group, and we've the WhatsApp group, and you're texting, you know, throughout the day.
Who's in your buddy group?
Kathleen and Corey.
Oh, good. Okay.
Yeah.
And how does that go?
We were doing it before your call on a Tuesday, and yeah, like that, you just, you know, you'd say, oh, I have a meeting, you know, this day or the next day, and I have to do a report, and we just help each other out. But then during the day, you know, I would WhatsApp Kathleen, and she really helped me with raising my prices, because I was able to share my screen with her sometimes, and she'd go, no, Eleanor, no, that is far too low. Right. And I go, oh yeah, but, and then she'd go, no. And I go, okay. And then we're just slowly rising through, like, you know, even throughout the Christmas, like I think it's New Year's Day or New Year's Eve, I was Zooming her, you know, the support there, you know, is huge.
Yeah,
you know,
that's important, isn't it? Because if it feels like walking a plank as a business owner, you're out there on your own, everyone's cheering you, going, jump for us, you'll be fine. But if you
that's exactly what it is. Yeah.
If you're not too sure what happens when you do jump, it's a bit scary. And of course, a lot of people are going to hesitate. Yeah, they might walk the whole distance and then just stop at the end and not
look. Yeah.
Well, that's it. And by holding hands and putting on a parachute and doing a little jump together, or by being able to talk to people who have jumped before you and they go, actually, it's fine.
Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah, and it was good. When I jumped, I made more money.
Yeah, and that's exactly it. And you know, so it's massive emotionally, but when you work on the emotion, it's easy to work on the financial part of it.
Right. Okay. So that's interesting. So what you're saying is that and this is, I guess, what I've been saying, but I say it in theory, but you need a mindset shift. Your income's not going to increase until your thinking raises.
No,
you got to change your perception of who you are, and I think that's the biggest thing for you is change the perception of who you are and learn the value of what you do, the real value of what you do, and learn how to communicate that value so that others understand it, and then you're in a position to raise your fees and get it. Yeah,
because you can justify it then.
You can justify it.
You can justify it to yourself.
Correct. Yeah. I think that's the first sale that needs to happen, is that sale to yourself first before you try and sell anyone else. So, okay. So what's the biggest benefits? What's the biggest changes that you've noticed in the last 6 months?
Well, what in emotionally, it's obviously the whole mindset, and it's the fact that I know I can do this on my own as a business owner. I know I can shift and make this my full-time position, and I know I can do that, not because I have a wad of cash in my bank, but because I know that if I don't stop moving, I will gain stability for my business and for myself.
Right. Actually,
right.
Now, one thing I do want to talk about, because I know this will help a lot of people listening, because a lot of architects and designers do a lot of stuff for free, but the LCC, tell us
Yes.
about what you've done there and how you've done it and what's happened.
Yeah, so that was massive, because I did what the LCC tells you not to do, which is rush into the design phase.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And that's all I did, because that's all I knew what to do was to design. And I was like, oh, somebody's got a lead, let's do design, let's get cracking. And again, so with the needs and options review, or the LCC, it's taught me, to not rush the process. Don't rush the process of courting your client, because that's what it is. You're courting them. You're establishing that you're the expert, and you're getting them to slow down, and you're getting paid for it at the same time.
Right.
And so it's really taught me to, when I'm talking to somebody, that you actually take a step back. It's not about, like, somebody would phone me before and I would be like, yeah, I can come out tomorrow, or I can come out on Thursday. Like, I was immediate. Yes. And I felt this panic of, I need to get to them by the end of the week. If I don't get to them, like, they're going to go. I felt that panic, whereas I don't have that panic now. It's taught me to slow down, because I could, even if I got more jobs like that, I couldn't hold that up.
Right. Funny, because I remember early on, there was a lot of discussion where you were asking questions and everyone was going, no, Eleanor, no, you can't do that. You've got to slow down.
Yeah. And, and then there's one thing about selling it. And I sold an LCC a couple of times without a report.
Right.
And then I had to build it up, that, like, what was I going to put in this report? And then, everyone say, well, just do one. If you do one first, the first one's not going to be as good, but the second one's going to be better than the first. And so I took that and I said, right, just do it. Just do one. But then what you learn is you actually become a better designer. Right. By doing it. Right. Because you are listening more, and you are thinking about things more, and you're touching your client more, as touch a base with them more. And so you do become a better designer. And again, that builds your confidence. And it's just a circle again. So there's like these mini circles happening, in different parts of the course, or the different parts of your process, that are just cementing your confidence and your value all the time.
Fantastic. Eleanor, this has been very entertaining. I didn't realize it was really quite as entertaining as it was. I knew you'd done a lot of things and all that type of stuff.
Yeah, have you taken a lot of micro scripts?
Well, I did actually. I wrote quite a few things down, because I was thinking, actually, the way she's saying some of these things, they're good little things for me to remember. Because remember, when I'm, selling the course or, promoting the course, I've got to try and think like an architect, so I can get inside there. Yeah. So I can say, hey, if you've got these fears and these problems, because that's how you resonate with people, you connect with them where they are. Whereas if I just say, hey, I've got this course and it can help you, that's kind of like you going in and saying, right, design, here's how much, when can we start? You have to, and then you have to go back, you have to understand what their fears are, and then you have to talk about those fears, and then show them how, but I love the analogy you had of walking the plank. Yeah. You're doing it, everyone's cheering you on, but you're actually walking out on that plank alone, and you don't know if there's a crocodile down below. No. Or there's a trampoline. Yeah. You're going to bounce even higher. And everyone's going, you can do it. Go for it, Mum. Go for it.
Yeah, that's exactly it. And, off you go. Yeah.
Get the job done.
But none of them, if it all went wrong, or, none of them would have been there to help me either. And that's the realization, is that you are on your own, in a sense. As I said, you're here in the room on your own, and it's up to you on your own to do it, because you have the support, but you have to do the work. You have to do the homework.
That's it. That's it. No,
Do your homework.
do your homework. Be good at your homework. Very good.
Yeah.
That's very good advice. And actually, that's one of the things I say is I can see who's going to do well when I start coaching someone, and it's always been the case. You know, even like 15 years ago, I remember the first sort of marketing course I ever ran, and I had this guy on there, and he was a doctor, but he was running a recruitment company, and he was every time we went through, you know, sort of a day, within 2 days, he was sending me stuff saying, what do you think of this? What do you think of this? And I'm going, whoa,
Yeah.
this guy is quick to implement. He was smart. He was confident, but he just needed to know what to do. And he was sending it. And I thought, man, this guy is going to be successful with or without my help. But with my help, he's going to be successful faster. And that's what I always feel about fast implementers. I remember Mona Quinn, I started working with her, and I'd tell her, she'd write things on her iPad, and she'd have her to-do list. And I thought, oh, to-do list. If it was me, I'd have this to-do list and nothing would happen with it.
Yeah.
But I was in Masterton like 2 days after I'd met with her, and I was there for, I don't know what I was doing. I was doing some business with someone, and this is like 40 minutes away. And I saw her in the street, and I said, Mona, what are you doing here? She said, well, you told me to go and meet this person, and they're in Masterton, and I'm meeting them today.
Yeah.
That's 2 days later. And I said, oh, wow. Because normally people delay, procrastinate, stall, put off. You might see them weeks later. Have you done that? No, I'm getting to that. The thing I noticed with the ones who do really well is they are fast to implement. They might make mistakes, but they make their mistakes faster, and they learn faster. And that's the thing. And that's kind of a thing I noticed with you, is you are good, you are good at your homework. And I notice you doing your homework, and I notice you doing things fast. And it doesn't mean you won't make mistakes. It just means you'll learn faster, and you'll get to you'll just everything will happen faster.
I just have a better understanding of it now. And that's comforting. It's comforting to know that I kind of know a secret, that that's what kind of feels like, that you're part of a club and you know the secret and you're understanding it. But it's how you're talking about yourself is actually the secret.
Yeah, right.
But you know that, but the receiver doesn't know that.
Yes. Right. That's right. But they benefit from it too. That's the irony.
Yeah.
Because as you said, when you do it, when you know how to communicate properly, and when you know how to do an LCC properly, yes, you're charging them for work you used to do for free, but actually you're doing it properly, and they end up with a better project.
Yeah. That's exactly it. I said, I think you become a better designer because you've slowed down. Mm-hmm. And you're not rushing, you're not panicking, you're not trying to get this job over the line. You're just, the process is slowed for everyone.
Brilliant. And so good for you. So Eleanor, you are the marketer of the month.
Thank you very much.